Magic the Gathering once had form and consistency in all of its sets, and in recent years that's gone way downhill. In this video I'm going to talk about how Magic the Gathering design has taken a huge hit to make way for more and more products and more external IPs. In a short I uploaded recently, I talked about the card Instant Ramen and how much I freaking hate it. It spits in the face of all Magic's design choices that were established many years ago. Magic's always had some punny things in flavor text and card names and such, and I'm going to go through a whole bunch of cards here in this section. You do not need to know what they do, I'm just going to list off the names. So I mean, we've got stuff like Apes of Wrath, like Grips of Wrath, Metronome, Peace and Quiet, Sick and Tired, Rust Tick, there's a rustic little guy there, and just straight up Mortal Kombat. Right? So all these cards are silly, maybe punny, maybe kind of like on the nose, but they were one-offs in their sets, or two-offs, or like they're 2 or 3 in a set, right? They're very few and far between. But in the last couple of years, it seems like Wizards has just given up on names for just tons of individual cards in these sets. So in Murders at Karlov Manor, I don't like that set. We've got Due Diligence, we got Not on My Watch, Wrench, Candlestick, Lead Pipe, Knife, Rope, right? I get that this is from Clue, but come on, like it's just so generic and just kind of dumb. Red Herring, Bite Down on Crime, Slime Against Humanity, Private Eye, and he's the homunculus, he's got one big eye. Lumbering Laundry, and then Thinking Cap. Really? And then we jump over to Outlaws of Thunder Junction, and here we've got Another Round. It's High Noon. Holy cow. Steer Clear. Lone Shark. This Town Ain't Big Enough. Cunning Coyote, which matches with Resilient Roadrunner. Huh. I wonder if these are referencing something and are from the exact same art, just put in 2 different cards. Highway Robbery. That's the highway robbery of the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote. Prickly Pear, because it's a type of cactus. You get it? Reach for the Sky. And Boom Box. Those are all from one set. And now let's go to Bloomborough. Carrot Cake. Crumb and Get It, Hop to It, Mouse Trapper, Shrike Force, not Strike Force, Shrike Force, because shrikes are birds. Kitnap, because it's kits, whatever. Sugarcoat, and I'm not sugarcoating any of this. Rotten Mouth Viper, instead of a cotton mouth. Take out the trash, and it's got a trash panda in the art. Cash Grab, that's what all these sets are now. And Jacked Rabbit. Whoa. All these cards take me right out of the game in such a bad way. In his article, The 10 Principles for Good Design, Part 1, Mark Rosewater states, the role of any individual card is to serve the needs of the set. The card's first duty is to the set, not to itself. One of the hardest things for designers to do is pull the awesome card that isn't quite doing what it's supposed to be doing. The problem is that the card is less important than the set. If the card pulls focus, it disrupts the set. And all of these cards I just mentioned take you directly out of the set. They're just blaringly obvious in your face when you're going through a list of cards. So let's do a deep dive and talk about the 10 principles of good design. Good design is innovative, makes a product useful, is aesthetic, makes a product understandable, is unobtrusive, design is honest, good design is long-lasting, is thorough down to the last detail, good design is environmentally friendly, good design is as little design as possible. Instant Ramen is a 2-mana artifact with flash, and when it enters you draw a card. Then since it's a food, you can sacrifice it to gain 3 life like most other foods do. Let's put this into our 10 principles of design chart. So is the design innovative? No. It's not really innovative, it's a food, and it enters to draw a card. It's a mix of a couple of other ones. Is the design product useful? Maybe. Is it going to be useful long term, or in Pauper, or in Limited? I don't know, and that's probably not a great thing. Good is the design aesthetic? No. If you look, it's a dude eating ramen. If you know nothing about Final Fantasy, this takes you directly out of the game, and I'm sure there's a lot of Magic players who know nothing about Final Fantasy like me, but it's just a cup of ramen noodles. So like, no, the design is not aesthetic. A cup of ramen noodles is not aesthetically pleasing. It's just there in the background. Good design helps us to understand a product. Maybe Do we understand the product? Sure. Why does it draw me a card? I don't know. Why does Ramen contribute to our knowledge, which is our library, into our hand? That doesn't make sense to me. Flash, that's funny because it's instant ramen. Okay, but is it unobtrusive? No, we just talked about that. It's blaringly obvious and in your face. Like, this card comes from a set, whereas if you go through it, you're like, oh, this just looks like a Magic set. There's a bunch of mages, wizards, certain magical artifacts, right? It's very blaringly obvious when you get down to it that, hey, this is a cup of ramen noodles next to the frickin' Buster Sword, right? And then next to it is a poo-poo UFO, which I'm not even gonna comment on that. Good design is honest. Okay, is instant ramen honest? Sure, maybe. It's there. Good design is durable. Is this gonna be viable long term? Maybe. Good design is consequent to the last detail. This, maybe if you're a Final Fantasy person, I don't know anything about it, but this has a lot of details from the game. So yeah, maybe it's got a lot of details that you might know. As a whole, is this consequent to the last detail? It's a dude eating ramen. I don't know. Good design is concerned with the environment, so this is not like an environmentally friendly thing. Mark Rosewater says in the article, to use a metaphor, and he loves metaphors, designing a set is much like cooking a meal. A cook isn't just making various foods, he's making a meal using those various foods. Each has to be thought of in conjunction with the rest. So is this thought of in conjunction with the rest of the set? I mean, sure, from a Final Fantasy standpoint, maybe. Does this have anything else to do with the rest of the set? Where does a 2-mana flash artifact card draw play into standard? So this could be a no, maybe, or maybe. Good design is as little design as possible. This has very minimal design, which is actually a good thing. So out of this whole checkbox, we got a 1 yes, and then a bunch of like, I don't know, maybe, which isn't that great. Now, I do have an exception to the funny cards rule, and that's of course with unsets. These sets take me out of the game in a good way, because I know they're trying to be fun, and I know it's trying to be corny. Instant ramen fits right in with those cards. So you could see instant ramen in with these ones, right? You could see it with bronze colander, right? Put the noodles inside the colander, drain the water. Spatula of the ages, Urza's contact lenses, Urza's science fair project, toy boat, Urza's hot tub, and time machine. So Urza's hot tub time machine. These could all be seen next to instant ramen. And this is what I'm talking about. Cards in a standard legal set should not point to real-world objects unless they make sense, like a horse or a sword or something from high fantasy. And these Universes Beyond sets, for how indifferent I feel about them, sometimes do a fantastic job at portraying a world beyond our own. Like, I keep looking at this card, Sin Unending Cataclysm. This looks like it could just be from a Magic set. There's a lot of these Final Fantasy cards that look awesome, and they fit right in with the game. And I love the Warhammer sets. I think they blend very nicely with the game. And that's all I'm asking for. I love Magic to stay in a realm of simplicity and in a place that takes me out of the world I'm in. I want to experience slinging spells, casting fantastical creatures, and just escaping reality for a few hours. It's very hard to do that when these sets have so many puns, real-world references, and all of that crap. So with all that said, thank you to my Patreon subscribers. I promise I'll have those tokens to you guys soon. I'm so sorry, I've got to backdate all these, and I've lost a lot of time making these videos, and I'm exhausted with everything going on with hospital visits and driving everybody around, and I promise I'll get to those as soon as I can. This video has been all about poor designs, but Arcane Fortress is anything but. It's a fantastic deck box that I love having around. It's got plenty of space and high quality materials that would just make a major company jealous. Thank you, Arcane Fortress, for being a partner, and make sure you click the link below to purchase any new deck boxes you may need. The TCGplayer affiliate link is down there with the Milkman Proxies link. These links help the channel, and I'm so grateful for all of you for using them. Thank you so much again, and join me next week for your weekly dose of magic.